Okay, another one of these spur of the moment videos. Timeline. Me and Connie watched Pulp Fiction last week at some point. A couple of nights ago, we watched Reservoir Dogs for to review for the 1001 Movies series. At some point soon, we're probably going to watch Inglourious Bastards as well, because that's also in the book. And tonight we watched Death Proof. And Death Proof is a kind of a controversial film in Tarantino's filmography. I think most people don't like it. He himself has said he thinks it's his worst movie, and just generally it kind of gets a bad rap. People like to even try and pretend he didn't make it, like, oh, it doesn't count, you know. It's just that Grindhouse thing he did. It's not a true Tarantino movie. And that's the interesting thing about it, which is that it was part of the Grindhouse project with Robert Rodriguez also doing a movie called Planet Terror. Those two being shown back to back as this kind of like double bill experience with like fake trailers and everything. Both films emulating the style of B movies from the 70s and things like that, kind of the scratchy look, the frames missing, and then just all these little imperfections and things like that, which I think Tarantino loves those kinds of films. Me, not so much. Not that I've really watched many of them, so I don't have that kind of fondness for that style.
Incomplete movies.
Incomplete movie. Yeah, I don't have a fondness for incomplete movies, but I get the nostalgia of it, and I think it both takes the piss out of those kinds of movies, but also celebrates them as well, and I like that. And to me, this doesn't feel like Tarantino finished the Kill Bill movies and was like, right, Death Proof is the next big project. It felt like they came up with this cool idea to have some fun and not take it too seriously. And that's what he did. He made a fun movie that he wasn't taken too seriously, and that's kind of like why it's one of my favorites, I think. And I'm definitely in the minority there, but it is definitely one of my favorite Tarantino films. And rewatching it now, definitely confirmed that to me. I love this film. What did you think?
Slow build up.
Very slow.
It's almost like two separate movies.
It is.
Until Kurt Russell really gets into it. And he cracks me up. I know it's supposed to be like a psycho movie where he's supposed to be scary, and he is. Like, he's scary in his own way, but it's just that he's so funny too. Like, when he actually looks into the camera.
Yeah, that was great.
And just smiles. Almost in a way like, you're gonna keep that cut or something like that. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah.
Or like a message to us. I don't know.
Yeah.
They did it as a joke, and then Tarantino was like, you know what, we're keeping that one. I don't know.
Either or, it's just because like the girls drive off, and you know he's got his eye on them, so he's got to look at the camera like, yeah, you know what's happening next.
Is that also why he said you going left or right? Because he saw that they went left.
Well, yeah, because he was going after them, so.
Yeah.
And that.
I love that scene. Like, you going left or right? Right. Oh, it's a shame. What do you say?
I'm afraid you're gonna have to start getting scared immediately.
Well, the lead up to that was that if she wanted to
Sure.
go left, it would take a little bit longer before she started realizing something was
Yeah,
wrong.
50-50 shot,
Exactly.
you know, whichever way you go.
So now, I'm afraid you're gonna have to get scared immediately. Like, you're fucked.
Yes, that scene where he's like, I said this car's death proof, I wasn't lying, but to really feel the advantage of that, you really need to be sitting in my seat.
Yeah.
So the setup, obviously, I don't we talk about it, not that we're doing a proper review, it's just a casual movie vlog, is we follow a group of women who are hanging out one night, they're about to go out to this lake house or cabin on the lake, something like that, and this man is kind of following them, and there's not much emphasis on him. Really, he is there. You do see his car at the beginning of the film.
The only emphasis is that you know that it's Kurt Russell, so he's got to be a big part of the movie.
No, there's also a shot of him outside, kind of looking. You don't really see his full face at first, and
I know, but you recognize him, so you know. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and you see
gonna be in
him
this.
pulling down his little, that kind of thing in the car they have. You can pull it down. What do you even call that?
Asking me?
Yeah, I got no idea. You know, like when you pull the flap down in front of you on the car to kind of shield.
Sunscreen?
Sunscreen, yeah, the sunscreen. He's got like the pictures of the women that he's following. And there's a lot of those...
The mirror thingy, it's got a mirror as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of those women kind of just hanging out, chatting, bullshitting, as you would expect in a Tarantino movie. I'll give him credit. I think this is I hasten to say the word best Tarantino performance, but it's certainly the one time he's in one of his own movies, and I think he's fine. Like he doesn't impose himself too much in the scene, and he's just there. He runs the bar, and that's about it. You know, he's
tell shitty jokes.
he's perfectly fine. You know, I'd forgotten he was even in it, which is probably maybe a good thing. I don't know. But what I love about this film, and I first saw it on New Year's Day 2008 when I was hungover, is that spoilers. He kills all the women in the first half of the movie. Like, you get an hour or like 50 minutes with these characters, and then he fucking murders all of them in the span of about 4 or 5 minutes. And then we start fresh. So you'd seen this before many years ago, right?
Yeah, but yesterday when we were talking about watching it today, I'd completely forgotten that he kills all the main characters halfway through the movie. Because I remember you saying something, oh, you probably didn't like it because he kills all the main characters. And then I was like, shh, I don't remember that. And then I'm watching this, and as they get killed, I'm just like laughing because it's so ridiculous, legs flying everywhere and stuff like that. Because it's just such a ridiculous death that you have to laugh or throw up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that didn't happen. And he's like, yeah. Or you're like... And so, all right, and then I remembered what you told me yesterday. So I was good at forgetting what you told me. And then I vaguely remember, oh, hang on, yeah, okay, so there's a different group of girls, because I remember there being a girl in a car. And when I asked if she actually performs her own stunts, and I asked if she is a stunt woman, Zoe Bell.
Yeah.
That made the movie so much better for me, knowing that she was actually performing the stunt. She is badass.
Yep.
And I just love how things turn around.
Yes.
It's almost like in was that Keanu Reeves movie where they kill his dog?
John Wick.
Oh my god, how I'm like cheering for every kill he does in that movie, because they killed his dog, and I was crying for 15 minutes after that scene. But in this one, I was like, get the fucking bastard.
Yes.
You know, and the way they're just drunk on this power that is turned around.
Yeah.
And I just, I feel that I would probably do the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because in the context of the second group of characters who all work on movies, and one of them is a stunt woman played by a real stunt woman, as you just said, Zoe Bell. They're kind of fucking around in this car. They got Zoe on the hood, kind of holding onto two belts, just kind of, basically just a thrill ride, basically. And then Stuntman Mike, Kurt Russell's character, turns up and starts bashing into them. Now, that is pretty messed up, obviously. But they don't know that he is like an actual proper, serial killer nut job. But they kind of treat him as if he is. But it's a kind of movie where it doesn't matter, It doesn't matter that they don't really know. It's just, it's a ridiculous movie in that sense, where you don't really take it too seriously. I think that Kurt Russell does an amazing job of seeming kind and charming at the beginning, also seeming threatening. A great job of being actually threatening when he first kills that woman in the Rose McGowan in the passenger seat. And then he does another great job of being really creepy in that scene where he kind of goes up to the woman's feet outside. And then he does an even better job, I think, at the end of the film when he realizes that these women aren't to be fucked with. And he's like, oh, that was great. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Oh, see ya, And then they shoot him in the fucking arm and he starts howling. And then he pulls over and he's just that scene.
When he's screaming in the end then, though.
Oh, so funny. It's just fucking fantastic.
I've never laughed so hard at someone being in such terrible pain.
But it's in most movies, people get shot in the arm or whatever. It's it's just a flesh wound. People don't treat it like nothing.
It's Last Action Hero.
It makes me think of the Tom Cruise movie Collateral, which I haven't seen in a very long time. Actually, I won't even say anything because that'll spoil something. But
I haven't seen that. So
but in movies, people get shot and it's they're just kind of passing. It's just nothing. I would imagine if I got shot in the arm, I'd act similarly, especially if I needed...
Oh, you would.
Especially...
Your pain threshold is
Alright, we'll skirt over that. But he has to pour the alcohol in it because he's in a dicey situation.
Just do it.
And he's just psyching himself out and screaming. He's like, oh, why? No. And it's just...
My God, no.
It's just fantastic. And then they catch up with him, and she starts smacking him in the
way
arm.
they catch up with him.
It's just fucking fantastic.
Great.
And
Zoe Bell is so badass.
she's great. But also, I think that the first half of the film is really good. I enjoy the first half of the film. It's, you know, it is what it is. But the second half, those group of women are so much better to me.
Yeah.
From acting to chemistry, you
I
know.
wish that the first half of the movie was just like the first quarter of the movie, and then we would have
Yes.
those girls as
Yep.
3/4.
I would be down with that, yeah.
It would make the whole movie a lot better, because the beginning, it drags a little bit too much for me.
It does drag.
To me, it's just like a chick flick, because I want to recommend this movie to guys I know, but they will hate the first half so much, probably, until he starts killing them, that they will probably turn it off before it gets good. That's the thing. This is the kind of movie you could miss out on all the awesomeness in the end because you just turn it off.
Yeah, I think that the actress who plays Julie or Julia, I don't like her acting in terms of the way she delivers the kind of Tarantino dialogue. It doesn't feel that as natural to me. It feels like someone reciting dialogue. You know, she's not bad, but I just get this kind of sense I'm seeing someone act. But
What, the lap dance girl, or
no,
the one who makes her lap dance?
Yes.
The radio girl.
Yeah, yeah. She just at times she just felt like she was reciting.
I agree.
But again, you get to that second half, and it's so good. And the kind of lunch scene when they're sat around the table in a restaurant, and the camera's like constantly roving around them, and I think it's like an 8-minute scene in one take. And apparently, you can see Stuntman Mike in the background somewhere eating, which I read, which is like
Really?
I haven't spotted that before myself. And speaking of things I never spotted before, was the hospital sequence. So first half of the film, Stuntman Mike, he basically marks down these women, kills them, and then we cut to him in hospital, and we have these two cops who were the two cops, I believe, in Kill Bill, who go to the church to see the bride
Really?
when she gets, same actors, same characters, and
Oh, there's Kill Bill references with a car and everything too.
there's loads of
And
references to his older movies, and like the whistling tune.
Ringtone. Amazing.
So there's lots of Tarantino
That was
references
my
in there.
ringtone for a long time, by the way. That exact ringtone.
I'm sure it was when we first got together, wasn't it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. And
They're walking in the hospital.
they're walking in the hospital hallway. So the two cops are kind of, it's like the classic exposition scene where they're explaining, the one cop is explaining what he thinks this guy has done. Because obviously it's made to look like it was just an accident. But this cop is like, no, I think this guy gets a thrill out of it. I think this was homicide. But, you know, I'd have to prove it, and I'm not going to bother doing that. But throughout this whole scene, they walk down this corridor. They turn left. And then they come through the same door again and walk down the exact same corridor. I've never spotted
And
it
we
before.
double checked it. It is the same corridor,
Yep.
same doors, everything.
And I just cracked up because it was like it's the exact same hallway, and it's like it's kind of the joke is that like those old kind of B movies would just reuse the same sets and stuff, to where it's like, right, we need them walking down another hallway, but we don't have another hallway, so we'll just use the same hallway.
They didn't even change things up.
No, they didn't even rearrange the set or anything, and so that's just very intentional kind of in joke there, and I'd never spotted that before. Anything you'd like to really add about the film? The car chase sequence is great. I think, like it's obviously like you said, it's really thrilling with the fact that she's on the hood of the car, and it's done for real by the actual actress, if that makes sense. And obviously, acting wasn't really her main thing. She was a stunt woman. For that, I think she does a really good job and seems really natural. And the banter between them just feels really natural as well. And I don't know the character's name. The black woman, she's really funny. Like her dialogue could so easily fall flat the way she speaks, but she really delivers it and makes you believe that that's the kind of person she is. Lots of motherfuckers and all that kind of stuff, but the way she says it just feels like natural to me. So I really like her in the film.
And the girl they left with the creepy guy has very good. She's a very good singer. She sings in the car.
Oh yeah,
when
that's
he's
true.
creeping up on them.
Yeah. And
I noticed that the first time too. I was jealous when I was listening to her.
To me, it's one of my favorites. You know, I prefer it to Django Unchained. I prefer it to Inglourious Bastards, to The Hateful Eight. I prefer it to I prefer this over Reservoir Dogs. I just do. I just love how different it is, how fun it is. It just feels very unhinged, but in a good way. And maybe people don't like that. but it's just so much fun at the end because it builds up to this guy who's a real absolute monster, basically. But even though I love the fact that he still plays it to the point where you can laugh at him. But then, it builds up to like the last 10 minutes where he just gets everything thrown at him until the very end, which is just like so over the top and ridiculous, but it's so fun and it's so thrilling to see kind of that justice given to someone who's like so horrible. And it was kind of the perfect cast as well to kind of deliver
nice roundhouse kick in the end. Just
yes, the kind of freeze frame pose.
Yay, he's down. I just love how when he kind of like crashed his car, and that's when he's like, "Oh, that was fun, girls. Bye."
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for Zoe Bell to maybe like come out of the bushes, and she's like, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
Just jumping up, and she comes out of the bushes. She's like grinning, like, "That was a close one. Want to kill him?"
Yeah, I know.
Or like, want to go get him or something like that? Yeah, let's kill him. And I just love that because they're just, they were fucking psychopaths too, weren't they?
Right, exactly. That's the funny thing. And
I wouldn't be smiling, but I would probably be pissed off and go after him too. I don't know.
But that's again where
the
the film doesn't really take itself too seriously, and that's why. And it's a really good car chase. It's all done for real. Like and they kind of allude to that where like she's like, "Oh, you do it with CGI," when he's talking to that woman about, and he's like, "Wow, back in the old day," Just kind of a play on that, I think.
Yeah.
That probably Tarantino had it in his mind that I want to do a proper car chase. Like I think the car chase is like 15 minutes or something. Like it's really extended and kind of caps off the whole movie. And yeah, it's just one of those interesting ones. Kurt Russell is one of my favorite actors ever, so it's always great seeing him, and I think he's brilliant and just commands the screen whenever he's on it. Anything else you'd like to add about Death Proof?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm okay. Hey.
All right, let's not overuse the Shelby puppet joke. So Death Proof, one of my favorites. I think that deep down I know that it is easily his quote unquote worst film because his other films have more focus and have more attention and care put into them. Huh?
Literally.
Literally, right. And more weight to them, more better stories and things. In fact, I think this is the only Tarantino film that doesn't have any flashbacks and is told in sequence, if you think about it. But there's something about it I really like and enjoy more than a lot of his other films, But now that we've revisited Pulp Fiction,
I'm not a fan of the hiccuping and the.
Yeah, yes. There's a couple of moments where like there's the stutters and like the lines of dialogue that get repeated a couple of times, where it's like it's just showing you like bad editing kind of thing. So you're not a fan of that, which I understand.
No, it doesn't work for me.
But it only happens a lot in the first half, which is good. I like that the second half doesn't have like the scratchy film image, doesn't have the jumping
like a
around.
Weird black and white, like where does that come?
The black and white sequence, yeah. I mean, I guess that's again just a reference to like maybe some like an old 70s B movie. They'd run out of money, so they'd need to shoot like a reel in like black and white, because it's cheaper. That's kind of the reference / joke there, I think.
Was that cheaper in the 70s? Didn't they all have color back then? Like
yeah, but it would cost more. Black and white was cheaper.
Why?
It just is. Or was, I should say. Again, we're dealing with like the days gone by of I can't believe this has been filming for like almost 20 minutes. How did this even happen? That can't be right. It's me. Okay, I'll take that on the chin. All right. So we'll leave it there. Ow. Death Proof. And I don't know if we'll talk about the other Tarantino films, but I just thought it would, seeing as we just did a couple of videos for his other films. But yeah, for me it's in my top 5 for sure. And just really, really, really fun. And that's it. So.
And that's it.
Thanks for watching. Leave me your thoughts down below on Death Proof, because I know some people do like it, and I'd be intrigued. And but I just feel like anyone who has issues with it, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a film that's trying to be great, and that to me is what makes it great. Really, I don't know. I got a lot of fondness for this for some reason, and I enjoyed revisiting it. So there you go. Thanks for watching.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you. 'Cause